Good afternoon, everybody. This is Vince. Welcome to Match Day, and welcome to on the other end. I'm truly delighted that I get to reconnect with a friend, and so proud of him and his journey and how far he's gone. But more importantly, he's just a better person, and he's a terrific father and a husband, and all that. But Brett Jacobs from Nashville FC right now is on with us, and he's going to share a little bit about the MLS and what's happening today, and maybe provide some tips. But please feel free to ask him questions through the chat. I'm not sure if my boss Ian Barker will join us or not. But Brett, thank you so much for being here with us, and thank you for sharing your time.
Great, Vince. It's great to be here. It's good to see you again.
Yeah, no, Brett and I met when I was the state deflector of coaching for Indiana Youth Soccer, and Brett was doing the same thing in Michigan. So, so speaking of that, your journey and our past, what's just real quick, a nutshell, what's been your journey? Because I'm sure a lot of people would like to know, how did you get there?
Well, I grew up in the Midwest, played club soccer there, and then my senior year in high school, I moved to Mobile, Alabama. I played at the University of South Alabama and into the USL and played indoor at a good level. But I'm 51 now, so back then it was slim pickings as far as professional opportunities. MLS was just forming. The A-League was about the only thing that was going on. So I played as long as I could, but I had to start coaching, just to make it all work and stay in the game full time. And got into college coaching. I moved to England for 2 years.
Yeah.
I was a college coach at the University of West Florida. I worked for a wonderful outfit in New England called Mass Pro Soccer with the Cape Cod Crusaders and some really good people who were working on the fringes of pro game, and actually brought the Olympics to the U.S. for the women. And then, when I got back from England, I just decided to keep coaching, and I got the job next to you in a great state like Michigan. Being a state director is very comprehensive. You get to learn about all the levels and stratifications of the game, from club to, parents and administration and all the crazy things that we talk about on soccer forums every day. And then the opportunity came to work at the Colorado Rapids as an academy director of coaching, and went out there with a really good opportunity and spent 3 or 4 years there and worked my way into the senior team. And from then on, it was off to Portland, and I spent 6 years in the Northwest running clubs, college coach again, and was a U23 coach with the Portland Timbers, and was a broadcaster actually for 6 years.
Yeah, so you can critique me all you want.
Oh, no, you're doing great. You don't have to do anything right now because I'm running my mouth.
Yeah, awesome. No, I love it.
But the radio and the analysis was awesome for just, looking at the game at a high level still, and being able to just look at where the levels of the game are coming together. And 2 years ago, 2018, I got a chance to move to Gibraltar in Spain.
Yeah.
Gibraltar's right on the tip of Spain. And I had a job there coaching as a head coach for a team in the second division there. Believe it or not, there's 18 teams in Gibraltar, and it's very close to Portugal and Africa, and there's some really good talent there. And that was a great opportunity. And then Nashville came, and I was looking for an opportunity, and that was last year. We were in the USL Championship, and this year MLS, and it's been a great journey.
No, I mean, and it's amazing. I always get people that say, I want to climb the ladder or whatever it is. And the point is that it took a long time, and I'm sure you're not where you want to be, but you're at a really high level right now, and that's what I always tell younger coaches is that, you got to earn some stripes too. You just can't, rocket to the top. There are very few that do that. And, but so your experiences brought you to Nashville, and now, so here you were 2 games into the season, and boom, right? Everything everything in.
Yeah.
So then what, right? So then you have all these pro athletes, and some of them probably are from, not from here, and not from the United States, and it's like, now what? So how have you been doing as far as keeping them engaged?
Well, being an expansion club, I think presents us with some real positive challenges because we're under construction as it is. We're trying to get our literature right. We're trying to get playing style and philosophy, build an academy. I mean, we have 70 full-time staff cranking away here, and there's plenty of work to be done. I think the hardest thing has been monitoring the players' fitness levels. And we were in Florida for 5 weeks of preseason, and living together, and we got a lot of good foundational work done. And then poof, now that's gone. How do you keep the guys, at those fitness levels? And that's been probably the biggest challenges. But we're leaning on technology. We work with a platform called Sports Office, and that basically monitors the players 24 hours a day, their sleep, diet, training, stress levels, you name it. They're basically monitored in all levels. So we're trying to keep as many good tabs on them as we can, but it is difficult.
Yeah. So the latest updates that you received, was it middle May, you think?
Yeah, and I think what you'll see is, hopefully, I don't know yet, but you'll start to see as they move towards that. I don't think they're going to jump right back into, hey,
Right.
We're training right away. It'll be gradual steps, and probably social distancing, very much like they're doing now. But you got a big space on a soccer field, you can spread out.
Yeah, unless you
Small groups.
Yeah, small groups, right. So speaking of, you're going to get back to the field, and we talked a little bit about maybe you can share an idea, not giving out any secrets or anything, but share like some, how do you train the MLS players? I mean, we see, for example, you see documentaries on Amazon Prime, for example, the Man City one, and it shows little snippets here and there of the pros training that, but what's a day look like? A normal day when you go in and you train and you're preparing, and what's that look like?
That's a great question. And, I can't believe when I was in Colorado working full time at this level, it was night and day compared to what it is now. The players are really well looked after. They're fed when they come into the training ground with good nutrition. They have 3 video sessions a week. They have strength and conditioning separate from the normal training.
Right.
They're really, as we talked about, monitored as far as sleep and stress levels, and not overdoing it, but there's a ton of work that's going in on the sports science side to monitor their whole system, if you will, on what makes them an elite performer. And what we like to do in our training, just on the practical side, because there's a lot of coaches out there, is we like to break the training up as much as possible. So Steve Guppy, who's the other first team assistant, will work a lot with the attackers on 1v1s and creative play and a lot of finishing. I tend to gravitate towards the midfielders and the players who would be more relying on good possession activities and changing the point of attack and breaking lines of pressure. Gary will generally take the defenders, back 4, goalkeepers, and work on a lot of those.
And Gary's the head coach.
Gary Smith's the head coach.
Right. Yep.
John Ireland is our fitness coach. And we have a lot of great auxiliary staff too. With Kosuke Komura is right with us, and we want to get as many eyes on these guys in as many sessions that are broken down to fine detail. Because at the end of the day, that's really what separates it, especially in MLS when there's so much parity amongst the teams.
Right.
You got to dig deep for that little extra percentage.
Yeah, I was watching your first 2 games, and you were competitive in both, and very competitive. And Atlanta one I watched part of that one. That was a fantastic game. I thought you almost could, sneak one out, get a point out of it. But no, and I'm sure. So here you were going, and then boom, we stop. I'm sure you've had some time to reflect, maybe, right? And But I have a question from his name's David, and he says, when the ban is lifted, has there been any discussion on quarantining the team as a unit for the immediate start to ensure the safety from the public to not pick up the virus? And if you can't answer, you can't answer.
Yeah, no, there hasn't been anything other than the moratorium we've been issued.
Okay. All right. Thanks, David, for your question. And by the way, Ian Barker says hello. So he's joined as a guest. So, yeah, hopefully I get paid Friday. But
Ian.
no, so we were on before, and Ian Barker just asked, will there be like a mini preseason?
Great question. We've been told there'll be about 4 weeks of preparation when we go back.
All right.
If and when that is and what the season looks like, 4 weeks is,
yeah,
a good chunk
of time. So we were on the air before and just talking and catching up. But if you can share, maybe you were sharing that little eight-a-side little activity, something that, an activity that you might do. I don't know if you want to do that now or share your screen and show that if you can.
Sure.
If not,
sure. Let's see if I can get this right.
You did before.
So
no pressure. You're good.
We were talking about some of the things at training, just to give you guys a glimpse. We haven't.
And this is Huddle, correct?
This is Huddle.
Yeah. Oh. By the way, the question was from Ian McCallum from Bainbridge Island, not Ian Barker. That was my fault.
So this is a session. We're down in Tampa, Florida. And like I said, we like to be very functional and specific with our work, and then build into something that's more game-like, like most coaches. I don't think it's rocket science, but this would be an example of a game. This is an 8v8 played in 3 zones. Goalkeepers play inside these arcs, and one team is trying to press and win the ball as high as they can. If this group who is on the ball can chip the ball into the goalkeeper's hands anywhere on the field, they get a point. Or they can score a goal in a normal way.
Yeah, so they have 2 options. It's not just either or, right? So obviously that helps with game understanding, and I think the more coaches we can put players in those situations when we get back, the better. So
yeah. So if this player doesn't get pressure on the ball,
yep,
we're looking at runs into those middle areas to try and play through the lines. Or if you can, maybe find a direct route to goal. This player on the ball they're obviously taking a break, but could play it in, then you obviously get a point. And I think the scoring system for that was you get 3 points if you chip it into his hands, and 1 point for a normal goal.
Awesome. So could they chip it in from anywhere? Like, what if they're like 3 feet away? Could they chip it? Because sometimes you see kids do that, right?
Yeah, no, in the final third, you had to go to goal.
Okay, very good.
Yeah.
No, thanks for sharing that. I have a question from Andy. So if you want, Brett, you can stop that, and then we can just kind of continue here. So obviously there's build up before that 8-a-side game, and you work on pressing, and you talked about Gary might be working with the defenders, you're working with the midfielders, and then someone's working maybe at the forwards, and then you're also working on building out the back and playing through lines and all that too. But Andrew has a question. He says, any jobs along your journey that you regret?
Wow.
Yeah, that's a biggie. Yeah.
No, every job, there's so much to take from, and even with the jobs that challenge you the most, I think you learn the most. It's like being a player.
Yeah.
You learn more from losing than you do from winning, and I think jobs are the same.
Yeah.
You got to have thick skin in this business, especially if you're working as a club director or state director or a somebody who's trying to influence the game and make good change.
Yeah. No, that's a tough one. I don't know if I'm like you. I don't know if there's any jobs I ever regret. It's just part of the journey, and there's always there's always good and bad in every job, right? But no, it's totally great. And
good question.
So you're going to get back to training. Who's your first opponent when you come back? You don't know, obviously.
Yeah, we were on our way to Toronto, but that game obviously is in the past. So I can't remember who we would have had. Kansas, I think, this week.
Okay. So do you think they're going to pick up like where the season left off, or are they going to pick up like where it would be, or you don't know?
Nobody knows. Okay. Nobody knows, just because it's so unpredictable. We've never been in this situation before.
Right.
It's funny. My wife said to me, "Why would you play the games without a crowd? Why wouldn't you want, behind closed doors?" And I thought, well, you play the games, you finish the season, but there is something to be said for that, especially, the crowds that MLS is getting now. And I think it'll be good for the game. I think the fans will be hungry to come back into the stadiums too.
Yeah. Yep. David, by the way, says he's looking forward to having you come to Toronto. So maybe you can get you and David could connect and you get him in. But Samantha, I believe it's Samantha Snow. I hope says that you're a knowledgeable coach and even a better person. So wonderful. So we talked about a little bit of the professional level. You've had great experiences at the youth game. I'll never forget. I think we were in Washington, the state of Washington, and you had a bag of balls, and you had these Derby Star balls, these lightweight balls.
Derby, yeah.
Derby, sorry. Derby's the rivalry. Sorry, Derby. So what the benefits of that lighter weight ball that you took from that, and would you recommend it for coaches on here that coach younger players?
I would. I still have about half a dozen in my garage that I'm going to go knock in the backyard now. My kids are here, and we're obviously two teenage sons that keep driving me crazy with it. But yeah, it's one of the oldest manufacturers of soccer balls in the world, and it is a quality ball. I found out about them when I went to Holland a couple, must have been 7 or 8 years ago, and I saw them playing with this size 5 with younger kids, and watching these young players get a hold of a size 5 the way they were, and they could swerve it and dip it and chip it and drive it, and then we trained with them the week that we were there with this youth group at Ajax, and it was just totally changed for me how I thought balls could be used, because I think you should play with balls of all different sizes, and ball being one of them. But the pros warm up. Guppy has them warm up with tennis balls. They got to juggle tennis balls every morning. You got to focus. And a lighter ball for a young player that can't get any lift or drive, I think is beneficial to use sometimes. And one thing I also notice is when you get old like me, you can drive a ball actually.
Yeah, I mean, I always thought the 9-a-side game, it'd be perfect if we played, with lighter weight balls for those 12s, 11s, and 12s, because now they might have confidence to ping the ball across the field, right, and make a big change in order to get penetrated, forward. Rob asked, I'm gonna not take too much of your time, but Rob asked it's a really good question on here. It says during all your time and developing your coaching style, are there 2 or 3 ideas that have stuck with you through the years?
Definitely. One is that. And we used to use it, U.S. youth soccer, the game is the greatest teacher.
Yep.
That one always stays with me. Use a games-based approach to learning. Yep. Without question, that is a major principle for me. And, I think also what just goes along with all that type of coaching and coach talk is character development.
Yeah.
Whatever level you're coaching or teaching, remember that there's a person there too, and you should work with the person in life like you do with football.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, coach people first, and yeah, the game comes second, next, or along with it. Right.
Yeah.
So, well, Brett, thank you so much for your time. We've gone over. I owe you 5 minutes. We'll have to like meet at Hattie B's or something like that in Nashville and have some hot chicken. But no, I hope to get down the road once the MLS season hits and watch you and watch and I know the fans there in Nashville, they are super pumped and excited.
Yeah.
And so anyway, just thank you so much, and appreciate your time. Go out and kick a ball take it easy on your boys. But truly appreciate your time coming on, and thank you so much for being a guest.
Thanks, Vince. And some good things going on in Nashville. Bring your cowboy boots when you come down.
Oh, I'll do some line dancing. Ooh, that's scary. All right, we'll leave with that thought. But by the way, tomorrow we're going to have Dan Gaspar, former Iranian national team goalkeeper coach with Carlos Quiroz. He'll be on. And then in the afternoon, we're going to have another MLS person that you know very well, Shannon Murray. So he's with the Portland Timbers. So those will be the two guests tomorrow. So thank you all very much. And Brett, thank you so much. And we'll talk soon. Thank you.
Ben.
God bless. Thank you, everybody.
God bless.